Wait, there are 3 enemies?
7k Dreamer, please.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be checking out the Mythical Awakened Chip Special Dungeon, and there's a funky boy band that we saw in the intro, right? So for his skill set, I'm just gonna go through it slightly. He decreases all damage taken by 40% and he provides reflect immunity for his entire team. And it's interesting because even though his passive says there's 3 or more offensive allies, they didn't design the dungeon to go with that. They in fact had Gerard and Nox with him. So that's pretty interesting. He also has 100% chance to land poison, and for his other skill, he is able to do damage based on your max HP and also land chain attacks if you die. Okay. For his awakened skill, he is able to land burn, pre-apply burn, and also magnify burn immediately upon landing the attack. Okay. For his effect attack, he does land burn as well with a 50% chance to do that. So I'm not sure if Netmarble is just trolling us or what, because they didn't include Gerard and Nox in the team, in the enemy lineup. So I'm still gonna go with this team just to show you guys how it can work in case you're too lazy to change your team. First off, I'm using Rachel instead because Rachel does provide burn immunity for 6 turns. So in case, Chip gets too aggressive and uses his awakened skill very early, you will be still able to have that immunity so that you won't get magnified burn damage. Unfortunately, I forgot to turn on the volume when I was recording this, so there's no sound from the heroes themselves, from the game in fact. Okay, so do bear with this match for a little bit. Okay, and the reason why I'm using Xayah is for poison immunity from Chip. Okay, and now Chip is dead because Mei is just super strong. Okay, of course, for the skill rotation wise, you want to use Phoenix. Like always, Phoenix is the one that will increase damage you do on the enemies, and then you can proceed to actually go on and kill off with Mei's single target skills. Now in the event that you don't have Death Resist, there's always Cult Death for you for cleansing effect. Okay, so you don't have to worry actually about getting hit with 2 deaths unless you're that unlucky. So you can see here that upon receiving 1 death status CC, I will cleanse, okay, and then with that, at least with 1 of them down, hopefully the next one won't use death on me, but there could have been a chance that they did that. Okay, land 2 deaths consecutively, and that would be pretty bad. And thankfully my Mei did kill the Nox with the effect attack. Unfortunately, again, because I haven't been doing dungeons for so long, I decided to go on and carry on with the end screen. So I could only do 1 run on my account. I used another account for a second run, so stay tuned for that. But before that, we'll look at the Mei's equipment. First, double speed, okay, for my Mei, and double HP for the stamps. And then you have physical attack increase, crit and lethal damage increase, as well as skill cooldown increase. Skill cooldown decrease, I mean. And increased damage on offensive heroes with Berserker Ring. Also for her traits, I've increased damage on those enemies that have damage reduction, and her traits are generally still in for item rate, so you see that I didn't really optimize for this particular dungeon because I didn't see the need to change traits and waste topaz for that. Okay, for Xayah, HP, armor, and defensive jewels, Willful Ring, very standard build. This is something that everyone by now you should understand why. Okay, HP armor is just very important for your front line with defensive jewels and a Willful Ring. Okay, even though the damage you take is not big, but you still need the armor because I've tried it without armor and my units die very quickly. For Rachel, same thing, HP armor, defensive jewels, and Willful Ring. For Cult as well, HP armor, defensive jewels, Willful Ring. Fenrir, HP armor, defensive jewels, Berserker Ring because he can heal more. Okay, now of course, seeing the team, naturally you should be using Galidus instead because they are literally telling you to use Galidus because of the 2 death units, right? So for this Galidus, he's running double crit HP, increase awakening gauge charge speed, crit and lethal damage increase, physical attack increase, as well as Berserker Ring and increased damage on universal enemies. Okay, I think with this setup alone, you should be able to do a lot of damage already. And the rest, this Eileen is actually trash, and then Rachel was on HP block with Willful Ring. Orly is also on a she's not even on HP armor, and this Fenrir is on PvP armor. So it really doesn't matter. You can just go in with such gear. Of course, first things first, we are gonna cast the Phoenix.
나를 가로막는
If you're not using Yuri in this case, you should try to optimize your Gyarados, your DPS, to have high crit and lethal, and that is doable by using Fenrir. Okay, you can also use your guild buffs are also very important, so make sure they are turned on. And of course, for your weapons, you need to slant them to crit, because if you're using Fenrir, you should be able to get 100% lethal rate already. So crit is more important for your DPS instead, like how I did my Gyarados. And of course, with Gyarados, you don't have to worry too much about cleansing or whatsoever. Just have to go through with all 3 of his attacks and you will be able to kill the dungeon in almost a minute. Okay? Yeah, so there's really nothing much in terms of the Gyarados team, nothing much you need to think about. He does a lot of damage and kills off everyone. Okay, so I have another team, and that is the Magic team. Magic team because some of you may like Valika and are lazy to change her away. So for this Valika, double lethal because you're not gonna have Fenrir because you're using Yuri. And Rin here, HP defensive jewels, Lufu Ring, same thing. Okay, just to brush up on Valika's gear, you really need the same kind of Revolution jewels for your DPS on Valika as well. Okay, so first skill I'm gonna use is actually the top skill of Valika, and then use Yuri's bottom skill because that will also provide skill cooldown. Again, my front line isn't very fancifully geared, just HP armor. Make sure you have HP armor, and that's the most important thing. And Willful Ring, I think that will be a good add-on. So technically this is the Phoenix, okay, same effect as the Phoenix. So with this, you can proceed to land your skills. The thing about Valika teams is that it's a little slower because Valika only has 1 damaging skill compared to Mei, right? And Valika doesn't reset her awakened skill as well. So it's very difficult that it could be a little slower, to be honest. Yeah, and this block rate thing is also very annoying. Okay, so Chip is gone. Take note that I don't think I have death resist on most of my heroes. I think only Valika, I'm not too sure. Maybe I do have them on all my heroes. So here Gerard is, Nox is gone. If Gerard is gone, it's even better. So now you just have to wait for the skill cooldown, and once that's ready, you can kill off Gerard. Not too big of a problem. Yeah, somehow it doesn't land the death on my team. I think this team does have a death resist. I didn't check, okay, because I just wanted to record this on this other account. And here with Valika, you can also clear the dungeon even though it's kind of like 40 seconds longer. Okay, so let me know what you guys think of the teams and which one is your preferred team for special dungeons. Big shout out to my channel members ZMD Phoenix and Yamaki for the support. Stay tuned for more videos. Thank you so much and see you!